Hi there. In this video we are going to be installing two TESY Compact 5 electric water heaters. They are basically mini boilers with outputs on the top, and they are able to stand like a bucket, to say it like that, directly on their little feet. You don't even need to attach them to the wall. They just lay down or in a cabinet and you connect to them. They will be installed in series with the central heating from my house, because the central heating unit itself is quite far away and it takes almost a minute for hot water to come to that kitchen and bathroom taps. Basically you finish washing your hands until you get some hot water in the winter, so that kind of sucks. And this thing being in series will give you hot water from in it, and at the end, when hot water just begins to enter it, it will reheat it from the central heating, but obviously it will also keep itself heated with its electric heating element. And I will put them on timer sockets, so they will not heat up, for example, during the night when they are basically not really in use. They will heat up once for about half an hour in the morning and once for about half an hour in the evening, and in theory should be enough. I will adjust the timing if I see it's not enough, but yeah. Anyway, I think this right here is the exact model. If you want to see more, the size of it. And yeah, I got a really cheap one before this. The video will be linked in the description, which was a death trap, honestly. It was extremely dangerous, really badly made. So put a little bit more money into it and got two TESYs. I have a few TESY products around the house. All of them are working perfectly since the day they were bought many years ago. So I'm happy with this brand. Let's go and install the kitchen one, because that one is already out of the box. And after I do that, this will be going in here. Preparing to put that thing in on the input. Put some of this on the thread, and now we just thread that in and should be all good. Another stainless steel pipe, hose, whatever you want to call it. It's the flexible type. Attached it to the hot water. This is where the dishwasher is taking hot water. Now we are coming with hot water into the intake of this, and I'm using this type of seals, not the stupid rubber ones that came with this, because those just don't stay properly in here and you have a chance of catching it inside like this and you have a leak. But this, nope. So anyway, I need to attach it here and then continue. They show this thing, this installed on the side of it, as you can see in here. This in theory has a spring. I don't think it's based on gravity. That doesn't make sense. So presumably they just don't want it like this, because if water escapes, it can go into this thing. But obviously I'm putting this hose on it and routing the water behind and through that, so it comes out from under the furniture. But yeah, if you have the possibility, install it like they show you here. It's safer, honestly. Okay, everything is installed. Not looking good. For example, that connection shouldn't be necessary, but it's extremely hard to change the connection in the faucet, because it's a really bad quality faucet, and if I open it up, yeah, it will be gone. So when that gets damaged, I will replace it with a direct hose from here to it. This one, as you can see, adapter in adapter in adapter, because our local hardware store didn't have exactly what we needed. But anyway, it's done. And again in here, hose going down, and presumably you can see it sticking out somewhere in there. Or is it not sticking out anymore? Should be sticking out. Hopefully you saw it moving somewhere in there. So yeah, and electricity going through to next cabinet, and in this programmable socket, which will be giving it about 15 minutes of runtime 3 times a day. So in theory it should not consume a lot of power. I will adjust that runtime if it's required. Also I will adjust the temperature as it's required. For the moment it's on. I'm not giving it full beans, I'm leaving it somewhere around here and hope for the best. Seems all okay at the moment. Just wanted to add, we have differential fuses on the house, so this install should be a little bit less dangerous even if water drips. But anyway, they tell you to install it like that on the side of it, but then you put it in here and each and every one of those connections could potentially leak, putting water on top of this. So yeah, anyway, the differential fuses should help. And it just finished heating, so it took less than 5 minutes to fully heat up to what I have set it in here. Not the maximum, obviously, but should be plenty for what we are using. And this thing occupies really little space, and I still have room for my garbage bin in here, which I will be putting back right now. Forgot to tell you, you can also attach this to a wall if you want to. It has some places where these things latch into it if you need that sort of thing, but I bought it especially because it sits right here like a bucket and it's basically not attached to anything. I just push it all the way down there, and as you can see, leaves plenty of room for everything else. As you can see, fully functional, garbage bin working, not interfering. Separate video for it if you are interested. This top, yeah, didn't open the door enough. This top also working, not interfering with the pipes. So everything is as it's supposed to be in this area, and my wife still has room to put some things right next to it. So couldn't be happier with the situation, even if I wanted to, honestly. Thank you, TESY, for this boiler. Really good idea from your side. Next, I will just show you when I finish installing the one in the bathroom, because it's a similar process. I just need to do some modifications to the cabinet in the bathroom to install it. The rest of it, connections identical. Forgot to show you the documentation and warranty. Don't care about that. User manual, will quickly browse through it, and here we have again some warranty and whatnot. I don't care. Yep, also forgot to show you the manual itself. In case you are interested, feel free to pause at any time while showing the English part of it. In theory, it should be quite simple. And yes, obviously it has a rust protection magnesium anode on it. And presumably this is all she wrote about it. Yep. A few days later I decided to insulate these pipes, and you might be thinking why they are inside the house. Well, this is way above the room temperature, and I'm using this stainless steel, which are way less likely to cause a leak. But there's one problem: these don't isolate at all. Basically they kind of actually work as heat sinks, because they get hot way up there when this thing is hot. So I want to isolate them. If you are using the type that actually has a rubber on the inside and only a metal wire mesh on the outside, those are actually insulating kind of okay, I think. But with what I'm using here, they are really safe, but they are the opposite of what we want in this situation. Yes, it's okay, because I'm actually heating the room with heat from this, so it's not wasted energy, it's just electrical energy turned into heat to heat the room, but I want to heat what I'm washing in here, not the room itself. And yes, if you want to see a video where I attach this to the sink, I will link it in the description. That's quite interesting. Again, I want to heat up water, not air, especially in the summer. So I'm using this type of foam that I had lying around the house, insulated the entry into this thing. Did not insulate this area in here because I don't want to interact with this and affect any of the way it works. So this is outside, this is a small area, it will not cause problems, but the rest is insulated right up to the connection where I could actually do it, and it's long enough that it will not cause issues. And now with another type of foam, because this is the only thing that I have around the house, we'll continue to insulate this as long as this foam allows me to. So let me get to it. This is the end result. The second foam was a bit too narrow, so I needed to cover it all around to make sure that it fully closes around our stainless steel pipe. But yeah, I'm considering it's long enough to actually make a clear difference in this situation. So I'll keep you updated. Second boiler needs to go in here under the bathroom sink, and I need to get this beam out of the way and move it right next to the other one, because otherwise this thing doesn't have enough room, and maybe even cut a notch in the beam. We will see when I put it right next to the other one. As you can see, everything looks much tidier now in here. Next step, cut the drawer. Let's see how everything fits in here. Papa. Isn't that nice? Papa. And my daughter here watching what I'm doing. And yes, obviously I made sure there is enough room for the connections on this boiler, and I should put some silicone around that. It cannot be ever seen, but still looks bad. I don't like it. Daughter helping once again. Okay, you can push now. She doesn't want to push on camera. Putting her to sleep now. Okay, so change of mind. It's working perfectly. Wait just a second. I don't know, this gap is not bigger than the other gaps. We don't have any gaps at the bottom, so honestly it's perfect. And the boiler staying nicely tucked in there. Couldn't be happier with the situation. Getting ready to install the one in the bedroom, and realized this was not tight in this one. Went and checked the other one. Again, it was not really tight, so I tightened it as much as I could. But don't over tighten it, because this is that small that it actually will throw out the O-ring. So tighten it just by hand as much as you can and be done with it, because anything more than this will spit out the O-ring. Okay, as you can see, O-ring out, this stuff in, because that O-ring in there is just really dumb. I have no idea who designed this, but that's just stupid. That's not how you use an O-ring. In here we modified a bit the way we connected this, so this is somewhat how they intend to use it. It's still above this, so still not like they show you here, but anyway, at least it's not directly above it. So yeah, it's nice when you don't have or I want to say I didn't have enough room. Reality is I didn't have the right parts at hand, and the stores are already closed, because why wouldn't I work late into the night? So yeah, there's that. So me and my father, we needed to finish this thing one way or another. These are perfect. I think we have about that much clearance with the drawer itself. Everything is okay. This is not pushed all the way in there at the moment because I want to use stuff like this to also insulate these pipes right here. I think from here down and up to here, because from here we have that the original ones from IKEA, and they are with rubber on the inside or silicone or something, so these are already somewhat insulated. So this is the part that will drain the heat from this. Ta-da-da! It's done. Insulated as much as I could. From now on, from here on, it's rubber on the inside, so that doesn't count. In the wall the pipes are plastic, so those are insulated. Hopefully it's all good. I put this really thick. As you can see, I almost can move this whole thing with it. Zip ties to make sure the cable cannot get up at this above the level of the zip ties, so it can never get trapped behind this metal rail to get damaged in any way, shape or form. So yes, we are all good to go. Let's put everything back. I will buy a programmable socket and program it exactly as it's in the kitchen, because that's perfect. Temperature level is exactly as in the kitchen, because again that's perfect by trial and error. And yep, we have running water now, so everything is fine. I don't have yet a tube in here, not even sure if I will put a tube in here, because if water gets out, obviously it will go in there and then down. Nothing to do with this. These all have bends, so even if it drips onto them, it will still go down, it will not go up in here. So I don't think a tube will help with anything in this particular situation. And yes, it's a bathroom, so no need to collect it so I don't wet everything around. It's a bathroom, anyway it kind of gets wet. That's how it goes. So let's put the drawers in and hope for the best. Just take a look at this. Ta-na-na, ta-na-na. It's perfect. Phew. Okay, let's put the other drawer and kind of be done with it. And yes, for that little thing, also in the kitchen I will put the white stuff to tighten it properly in place and not keep their stupid O-ring that is not good for this particular use case in there. Another one of these boilers hooked up in the main bathroom. And this particular model is being more and more difficult to find, presumably because of COVID and the war, who knows. But luckily I found another one because I really like them. And as you can see, we have a water sensor down there, and in the other two locations I also added water sensors, so in case anything happens, I will know quite fast and quite abruptly. So that's perfect. Now I just need to insulate this metal in here, the piping, and should be all good. And the third one is finally done. I think I'm even getting better at insulating these pipes. And honestly, I highly recommend these boilers. Two of them are already in use for about 2 or 3 months, working perfectly. The one in the small bathroom uses under a kilowatt by day. They are working full time, so they are not on a timer or something like that. So under a kilowatt, 0.8 or something like that. The one in the kitchen, 0.4 kilowatts or something like that. So yeah, we have a dishwasher, so that is why it's not used that much. Anyway, it's something. So yeah, it can get expensive if you have many of them, but I hate turning on hot water and nothing coming out for 1 minute or something like that. So that sucks. This fixes that issue. With a bit of money, thrown at them as electricity, but I plan to install some solar panels hopefully in this autumn or next spring, something like that. Those should offset the consumption of these things, hopefully. So that's about it for this video. I recommend you get them. They seem to be decent build quality and even price and size. They are compact. You don't need to attach them to a wall. Really simple to install. So as always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, check out my other videos, and as always, see you in the next one. And yes, obviously, construction site, I modified this also to fit that thing even in this bedroom, and I even made something like a shelf with this edge right here for my wife to put her eyeliner. Is that a thing? I think that's how it's called, so it doesn't fall down, it's easy to find. Yeah, anyway, that's about it. Good job, TESY. Hopefully this will not be discontinued, or if you discontinue this, please replace it with a newer model of the same idea, because it's the only one on the market, honestly. So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.